Bruce?
Okay. This item, I have concern about it. For those of you who are not familiar with it, it's a building that is on the current library property. And in order to get our expansions done at the library, this building needs to be moved. The problem, of course, comes in that what the cost is and what is to become of it. It has been said that that building is a historical building. I don't know whether it has a plaque on it or not, but it has been modified so many times, I doubt that the original builder would even recognize it. It's kind of become like the ransom of Red Chief. We offered the building to give it to people. Nobody wanted it. We then received offers to take the building if we would pay somebody to take the building. Then we decided that the building or the people out at the fairgrounds said that they would use the building. So we agreed to front the cost on part of that and to deliver it, get it delivered out to the fairgrounds. The problem was that they didn't have the money to fix it up when they got it, so they have now turned that offer down. And the item on the agenda tonight, as I understand it, is there is a private citizen here in town that will take the building if we will pay them $40,000 to take the building. Folks, I don't think that's a good use of our funds to do that. I would be glad to give them the building if they want to take it. They are welcome to it. But I don't think we need to, in tight economic times, we need to be doing that. So I am concerned about this agenda item. I do not support it as it is currently formatted. In addition to that, even if we take the building down and pay them to take it down, we've still got the foundation and other stuff to demolish, and the only numbers we have on that include removing the building, as I read them, and I have read them this evening. The demolition of the building and the foundations and things are in that bid. Additionally, in that bid, it says that they want the right to salvage whatever they can salvage out of that. The private citizen that wants us to pay them to take the building wants the salvage rights. We don't really have an agreement here.
Is there anyone else, council, have an opinion or want to talk about this issue?
Well, it's kind of a shame because we get accused of tearing down old buildings, and I thought this would be a good chance for us to save an old building. But when you come to the numbers, and it's a difference between, giving money to a private citizen or giving money to our library, I don't really think it's fair. I agree with Bruce that if they wanted to take it and take it down themselves, that'd be great. But I just can't see us paying for it. We don't have the money right now, and the library needs it desperately.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I've looked at this on a couple of occasions, and I've been told by an individual or two that I think are reliable sources that the building does not have any architectural significance. And it does have some historical significance, but not a lot. If it were an important building, I'd be saying we need to preserve it. But if you've been in it, it's really, I think, beyond much help.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay. Mr. Stone, would you be interested in coming up and visiting with us a little bit about what you might have planned for the building?
Thank you for the council to give us this opportunity. My wife Linda and I are here tonight. We are the private citizens that are interested. I'm not sure that all the facts that y'all have them. There's some numbers that are probably already gathered that I haven't been privy to, which might shed some light on it, and that would be, I mean, it sounds like you're giving us $40,000 to take it. However, what is it going to take you to demo that building in place? About a year and a half ago, I heard some numbers thrown around that I think were in excess of that. And your people are here tonight that could confirm or deny that. Linda and I are interested in the historical aspect of it. We're also interested in the business end of it, of course, because if it doesn't work business-wise for us and the money end doesn't work, then it won't work. I think the numbers that was offered to us by staff, I believe, is lower than the money it's going to take to demo the building. I don't know if y'all want to address that or not.
Evening, Council. What we put before you at your place is the actual cost estimate of not a local, but a San Antonio company to come in and actually do the demo work. Full demo is roughly just over $40,000. If this building is moved and relocated and put back into use, there are still some subsequent costs that the city will have to demo the back portion of the building. So there is a bit of a margin that's above and beyond the $40,000.
In the number, the demo part of the building part, not the surrounding stuff, is 19.5 in that bid.
Correct, but in order for the site plan to work
well,
as...
but that's where apples and oranges.
Okay.
And the real number for the demo, including the building, as I read that bid, is 19.5, not 40, not 60, not whatever. And when you add that to the 40 that Mr. Stone wants, that means the city is paying $60,000 to get the building moved, which is not a good move.
That $19,500 portion is actually for the entire, but does not include any of the site work that would need to be done
right.
along with it in order to achieve the ultimate goal of the site, which is to bring that parking forward off of the river and to repave up there, including refilling the hole as well. So really just demoing the building and taking it down leaves a void on the site that the city would have to come in and fill anyway.
I understand that, but in order to be apples and apples, we're talking about building only. We're not talking about the site.
Okay.
19.5, in addition to the 40 that the Stones want, is 60, 59.5, if you want to get technical. And we don't need to be spending that extra $40,000.
Where did the $40,000 come from, Mr. Stone? Is that a number that you had asked for as reimbursement? Is that based on an estimate of the actual?
Originally, from what I understand, when it was offered to the River Star Group, the number was $35,000 that the council had approved.
Mm-hmm.
I have not followed up on that, but I think that's correct. And based on that, then we went out for a bid from Roger Fadgley House Moving, which when we approached this a year and a half before, we secured a price from him too. Of course, it was higher this time, and the bid was $40,000, and the offer was $35,000. And we said, well, if we can work something out with 40, that's, we would accept the building. Some things that you may not have considered is, if you demo the building, it's gone. We would be a tax revenue from here on because we would not only relocate the building but set it up and honor its history and get it back up and running, and of course generating money to carry its own. But it would also, it's going to an expensive piece of property that the city and the citizens, of course, benefit from the tax revenues from that. So,
can you let us know what your plans are for the
they're a little sketchy because we were only contacted probably 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So I think we would relocate it next to the Rails restaurant, the train depot, parallel behind what is the Walgreens. And of course, getting the building there is just the initial thing. I mean, there's not only energy and time, but much money that has to be put into the building because, we've agreed to bring it up to city specs, including the foundation, but that entails all new electrical, all new plumbing, all new heating, air. We're thankful for the gift of the city if they'd seen to grant that, but there is a lot of other costs that, of course, as private citizens, we would pick up, and it would enhance the building, and therefore the appraised value would be higher, and we would be taxed accordingly. And that is, perhaps a little more long-sighted. It might be something for the council to think about. I know the shock of we're giving these private citizens $40,000 to take this building, but it's a little more involved than just that. And Linda and I do have a track record for fixing up and taking care of old buildings. We've done many in town, and this one would, follow the same suit, come to completion, and it would be operating and productive again. So,
A question for Christine, please.
Yes, sir.
If he moves the building, we're essentially paying to move the building, which I understand. That would be $40,000 plus how much more to clear the site?
In order to clear the back portion of the building, staff has estimated with renting equipment and doing that in-house to get that site back to grade, it cost us about $20,000 additional.
So
Some of that will need to be done anyway, and then there's asbestos in it that will also have to be removed. That would have to be done either way.
So $60,000 if we demo it, and $60,000 if we move it,
No,
more or less.
no. $20,000, $19,500 if we demo it, and $60,000 if we move it.
Well, if we demo it, we still have to clear the rest of the site.
That's part of the demo.
No, I think the 19.5 was to demo the structure.
Yep.
And then there's an additional 22,000 in that bid to demo the balance of the site, so the flat work, the asphalt, the other things that are there. So to take that entire site forward, I think was about 41,000 by
Correct.
that
That's
bid.
right, but that's not just the building. We're talking about the building now.
Right,
You
the building's
can't-
19.5.
The rest of the site doesn't matter. That's going to be there no matter what you do.
Yeah, there's the building itself. I guess the way I look at this is the building itself, based on the bid, is 19.5 for the demo,
That's right.
and versus relocating is 40,000. And then you've got site work that's going to be required whether you demo or whether you relocate the
So the
building.
spread is really 20,000.
No, the spread is 40,000. You're still going to have demo even if we move the building and pay the stones to take it.
Right,
There's still going to be demo there.
right. That's
This
20,000.
bid does not break out or give benefit to us in any way, shape, or form if we pay the stones to take the building. There is a number of 19.5 for demolition, which happens to include the demolition of the upper structure part of the, or a portion of the upper structure part of the building. It does not include the whole thing, doesn't include the foundations, doesn't include a lot of things.
Right, so 20,000 to take the building down, and 20,000 to clear the property.
Yeah,
So 40,000 if we take the building down.
Yeah.
If we move the building,
it's 80,000.
it's 40,000 plus 20.
Yeah, no, 40 plus 80, 40
Whatever it
plus
is, it's
40.
too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not hearing those numbers, Bruce. I mean, I'm sitting here listening carefully, and I'm not hearing 80,000, so.
Well, you've got 40 if you include the site work. That's going to be there anyway. So that's in this bid item on the page, it says that it's 41,000 or something.
Okay.
I think there's a $20,000 spread.
There's actually 40, but whatever, it's still,
Okay, well, that's, 20 is too much.
Well, okay. Look, I think it's been in the plans for probably close to 10 years to move this building. And whether the council decides tonight or not to move it or demo it, I mean, the council's going to do what we're going to do. But I'd like to remind everybody, but there's been the concept that we were going to move it and we're going to try to retain it. And I think the criticism that long before I came to Kerrville, or most of us have been here, that there's been a propensity, I think, to take the least expensive or the short route or whatever you want to call it, knock things down in favor of new things, has been with us. And this is another example for us to save a building that, while it doesn't probably have architectural merit or maybe even lacking historical merit, it certainly does from the standpoint of age. You know, the Stones have a remarkable track record in town of taking old buildings and converting them to commercial use that I think has a role to play in our central city. And I think I really applaud you and commend you for what you've done at Rails. And I was just there the other night, and it's still a fantastic facility. And to me, over the long term, whether it's 20 or 40, the spread is really insignificant when you square it with the use that they're stepping up to provide and the tax base increase. Yeah, it's going to be a long-term payout, I get that. But I mean, I really just hesitate to vote to knock the thing down to save 20 grand.
Could I say one other thing that might close the gap a little bit? There was an asbestos study done on the whole building, and even the part that we would be receiving contains asbestos in the window glazing compound specific. But if you demo the building in place, there is a cost of abatement to the city of Kerrville that I don't know what the number is, and I don't think any of the city staff knows what that number is, but the windows would have to be, you know, professionally removed and disposed of, not to our landfill, but to a certified landfill that would accept them. And, you know, I think that would at least lend itself in the thousands, you know, to abate and remove and relocate windows. So that would be something. And as far as the historical significance, you know, architecturally it's not the most pleasing building in town. However, we spent about half a day at the History Center yesterday, and at least we've tracked it back to 1904, and it was a storefront for many years, and then it was purchased, I believe, in around 1912, 1913 by the Schreiner family for a daughter's bowling alley and recreation room, and that's all documented. So, you know, the building is in really nice shape structurally. You know, it has the original standing seam soldered metal roof, which we would power wash and try to keep if possible. So it does have some redeeming, you know, points to it. So anyway, if you have anything else, I'll be available.
Mike, what's the tax value of that? Mm-hmm.
I'm not aware. I've not looked at what the tax value of that property is.
Mayor, I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Christine, is the money's in the budget to do this? Where's it coming from?
It is. If you remember back to your most recent budget amendment, we left $35,000 in Fund 67 with anticipation that the Arts and Crafts Foundation would take the building and relocate it out to River Star. This is about $5,000 additional, so we would take it from the project fund at the library.
My second question will be directed at our council. What position does that put us in as far as if we were to do this with a private citizen?
I don't have any
Okay, I'm
problem
not
with
sure I
that.
understand the question.
I don't have any problem with that.
If we're giving taxpayer dollars to a private citizen to take this building, what position does that put us in?
You
Or
can
does
do
it put us in a
that. You can do that.
position? Okay.
And if you do that, you're finding presumably a public purpose for doing that. You're you know, getting the building off the site.
Well, to
You
be
know,
clear, I mean, we're not writing Mr. Stone a $40,000 check
Right.
to take the building. I mean, there's approximately $40,000 cost associated with removing the building. Now, is that a reimbursement? Are you going to front the money, or are you anticipating that we would?
From what I understand, yes, I'm fronting the money, and when the building is, you know, on the property over there, then we would receive reimbursement.
Okay.
So
Not to
we would
exceed
be using
40,000.
Right.
private funds to do that.
And I think that's where I was going with that, Mayor. I think maybe there's some folks a little unclear as to we were just handing them a check, $40,000 to do whatever with.
No.
But I think if you hired a private citizen, even if he was incorporated to demo the building, you would be paying him city funds. Perhaps there's a difference. Another thing would be the timeline. You know, we're ready to act immediately, and I think, you know, the city's been stubbing their toe over there. You know, we first became aware of the building almost 2 years ago. I think it was Mr. Brinkman that said, "Hey, look at that building over there," you know. And so, you know, we threw our name in the hat. But you know, I must say, if a year and a half ago, if Linda and I would have been awarded the building instead of the River Star Group, it would have already been relocated, up and running, and creating tax revenue, and the city could have long ago moved forward with their plans there. I don't think anything can be done there until that building goes away. So.
No, that's clear. And I want to say again how much I appreciate what you've done on the site that you have, and I think it'd be an attribute to our central city. And I think it's in keeping with our comp plan in a lot of respects with regard to the way I think people expect our central city to develop over time. And I think, again, being short-sighted, and I respect, Bruce, I respect your opinion, and I understand, you know, the fiscal issues, but I don't think that we're debating or the issue is so great from a dollars and cents standpoint that we should just vote to tear the thing down. I really don't. I think the long-term benefit on multiple levels, you know, outweighs the immediate concern of whether the spread is $20,000 or $40,000, and that's my opinion.
Councilmember Allen?
Sorry.
If I just can make sure I make one thing clear, this was actually a public process that the council and the staff went through in January of 2010. So it wasn't as if we picked the stones out of, you know, the community and said, "Hey, are you interested?" We actually went through a public process, and they were the second proposer in the process, and that's why we went to them after the Arts and Crafts Educational Foundation declined the building.
If I'm not mistaken, when this issue about moving the building was originally contemplated, there was some talk about the city taking the building and moving it out to the state park. When the city took Clay and Schreiner Park over, there was some talk about moving it out there for some use, and then it shifted to the Arts and Crafts Fair, and here we are today. So this is something that's been going on for the better part of 10 years in terms of contemplating the use and the preservation of that building.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
You ready? I move that we accept item 3E as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Gross, second by Mr. Allen. Is there a vote? All those in favor with the uplifted hand? Motion carries 4-1. 4-1. Okay. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.